Good afternoon, everybody. Oh my gosh, this mic is so loud. New one? Nice. We're living large today. Anyway, welcome to our last live event until September. We will be dark for the summer, but our September event will come, not September, October. Hello. Our October event will come roaring back with the singer Anais Reno. And Sandy, who are our rising stars that day? Do you remember?
Yes, it's a trio led by Desmond Gibb, who's a all-state guitarist from Desmond.
Okay, so our rising stars is led by a guitarist. Oh, that'll be exciting. So anyway, so we hope you'll be back here in October. In the meantime, I just want to. I hope I can do this. I just want to make note that we lost one of our board members this week, Mitchell Seidel, the gentleman who I'm sure has stood in front of every single one of you to take a picture. He passed away this week, and so there he is. So Mitchell had been, oh gosh, Stu, how many years do you think Mitch was with the Jazz Society?
15, 16.
Really?
With the Jazz Society, over 20.
Yeah, I was going to say over 20, right? Yeah. So Mitchell will have forgotten more than I will ever know about all things jazz. Last summer we were at one of the festivals, the Montclair Jazz Festival, and Mitch was talking about we were selling our records and stuff, and Mitch knew literally something about every single album for sale, and he knew a story. He'd been in the room. He had so much to say. It was I wish I had the mental fortitude to turn the phone on just to record him, because he was really knowledgeable. But anyway, kind of a disconcerting situation. So for those of you that knew Mitch, send him on his way. He was so dedicated to jazz. Anyhow, we'll move on. I just want to remind everyone, I want to thank those of you that are new members today. I want to thank those of you that are renewing members today. Membership is really a huge part of our financing, so thank you very much for that. Let's see, anything else that I can think of? I can't think of anything else. So without further ado, I will introduce my colleague, Sandy Josephson. Sandy does he's the editor of our magazine, Jersey Jazz. And if you are unaware of our digital magazine, it really is quite amazing. Given the fact that we have really no staff and no anything, it's an incredible, incredible magazine. Thank you. If you haven't enjoyed it, that's njjs.org. Comes right up. You can, I know there's some pushback about digital, but we wouldn't still be in business if we were printing the magazine because it's too expensive. But there is, you can download it, so you can go back to it. It's easily downloadable, and if you are so inclined, you can print it out on your own. But lastly, I want to thank Miss Lynn Mueller, sitting right there in that beautiful red dress. Lynn made a really very, very generous donation to the Jazz Society this year, and we have been able to parcel it out a bit to make for a better wage for our performers. So Lynn, thank you so much for that. Yes, if anybody would like to help sponsor one of our shows, please feel free to talk to me or send me an email at pres, njjs.org, and I will be glad to talk to you. So without further ado, Sandy.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Actually, two of our three rising stars have actually been here before. Leader Alex Marischal was here in May of 2023 with another group from Mount Olive High School, led by tenor saxophonist Gabe Cerna. And Alex Gedlakian was here a year ago, last June, with a group led by guitarist Alexander Rausch. Tell you a little bit about all three of our performers today. Both Alex is a member of the New Jersey All-State Jazz Ensemble, and he and bassist Ansh Parikh were both members of the Jazz House Kids Big Band that competed last month at Jazz at Lincoln Center's Essentially Ellington competition. Alex Gedlakian, who's from Rahway, New Jersey, is the winner of last year's James Moody Scholarship, and so he's a jazz studies major at Montclair State University. I think I gave you a warning that a tradition here is to ask you guys to tell the audience something about yourselves that you don't think we know.
Wait,
Yeah.
before, did we misintroduce our bass player for today? That's not him.
Oh, you're not?
We have a substitution, ladies and gentlemen, last minute.
So unfortunately, Anj wasn't able to make the gig, but Sam was able to step in with pretty short notice and learn all the things. So he's great. Yeah, Sam Conley.
Big group with Alex Caravaca and Rios.
So we're the Alex Marichal Quintet. Well, trio. Sorry, that was like 3 months ago, man. It's been a while. But something you didn't know about me, I like jazz, but I also like metal. So that's my second thing. I like play bass and I scream and stuff. So that's cool. What about you guys?
I'm a big fan of film and television, so I use that as like an inspiration for my playing and compositions.
I play upright bass and electric bass. Thank you.
So we got a pretty short set for y'all. So we're starting with Public Eye by Roy Hargrove. And moving into some standards, we're gonna do September in the Rain. And then just announce one more tune for now. We got Weinstein by Kenny Garrett. So looking like we only got time for one more, so we're gonna play Olio for you guys. Keep the standards going.
I never cease to be amazed at the commitment to craft. So, Alex Marical Trio, another round of applause, please. Two Alexes and a Sam. Sam, have you played for us before?
I think I have.
Yeah, and because you were the 13-year-old bass player the day that you played with us before. So now you're a whopping 16. Yes, and growing exponentially in the craft. So congratulations. Again, thank you, gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break. If you need a restroom, they're out here in the corridor. Please help yourself to snacks. And what am I missing, Sandy?
No, I just wanted to say, had I realized it was Sam on bass, I would have told you you won a bunch of awards in February. Charles Mingus.
Well, you can come tell us now. Charles Mingus Festival, you won this year?
Won a bunch of awards.
A soloist award and.
Oh, wow.
Soloist and Arrangement Award. Wow. So, I've said this before, but Sandy takes care of procuring our rising stars, and he has a marvelous column in the magazine about other rising stars, but our rising stars here. And I always say I am never ceased to be amazed. First of all, that you can remember everybody's name, everybody's everything is such an amazing talent. I can remember faces, I'll never forget a face, but trust me, I'll forget a name. So, but I didn't forget yours. So anyway, we have had such an amazing run of incredible talent. I mean, jazz is alive and well and in the next generation of performers. So, take a few minutes, we're going to reset the stage, use the restroom if you need it. Please get snacks so I don't have to carry them back home. And we'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you. All right, before we get started, we have our little drawing here. Okay. I should have had you read it too. 4384164. 4164. Wonderful. All right. So, we're in for a real treat here, but in the meantime, I'm going to leave the important stuff up to Sandy. Come on back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Good place.
Okay, well, this is, I would call this really an all-star band, and I'll tell you why. Danny Jonokuchi is originally from California, came east to study with Terrell Stafford at the Temple University's Boyer School of Music. And in March 2021, he was a rising star in Jersey Jazz Magazine. Shortly after, he put together a virtual big band during the pandemic. He won the Count Basie Great American Swing Contest with an incredible performance of Count Basie's 1 O'Clock Jump. And if you haven't seen it, Google it because it's well worth watching. Bassist Liani Mateo was a rising star in the October 2023 issue of Jersey Jazz Magazine. She studied jazz at Michigan. She's from Jersey City, studied jazz at Michigan State University, mentored by the great bassist Rodney Whitaker. Fiona Park, who I don't know, but I can tell you that she won first place at the International Women of Jazz Festival in 2018. And Kevin Conkelton, who was in Danny's big band, held down the jazz chair at the prestigious Jazz Lab Band at North Texas University. So please welcome the Danny Jonokuchi.
Hello, hello. All right, how y'all feeling? It's pretty good. Let's try it again. How y'all feeling? Enjoying this jazz music on this wonderful day. Well, my name is Danny, as you heard, and I'm just so thrilled to be here performing for all of you in this space, wonderful space. Give it up one more time for this incredible band, by the way. Yeah. So you took my job. I was going to introduce and talk a little bit about her. You took my job and you did it so wonderfully. But I think you forgot to mention we're going to feature on this next one our special guest vocalist that we've got going on here. So we're going to skip the next one and do This Can't Be Love. We're going to do this tune called This Can't Be Love. It was recently recorded on my latest big band album. And I say latest because I get confused. I actually released 3 big band albums in the last 2 years. So, oh, thank you. I appreciate that because your applause makes my bank account seem less empty. Like it was all worth it. But anyways, this one was one we recorded, and it's going to feature our special guest vocalist that we brought in for this one. But I have to say, when this vocalist comes up, we need some extra applause, right? Can we do that? No, it's a hard thing. Let me tell you, it's a hard thing to get up and perform. It's a hard thing to get up on a stage like this. But it's a hard thing to get up and to really bear your soul out singing with this incredible band. So when they come up and sing, can we get some round of applause here on this Sunday? Yes! All right. We're going to kick things off, bring in our special guest. This Can't Be Love. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This can't be love because I feel so well. No sighs, no sorrows, no sighs. It's me, I'm the singer. This can't be love. I get no dizzy spells. My head is not in the skies because my heart does not stand still. It just hear it beat. This is too sweet to be love. This can't be love because I feel so well. So I love to look in your eyes, looking in all your eyes. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. How about it for our special guest vocalist coming up for that one? Me. Yeah, I started singing in choir in high school, and I always really enjoyed singing as a thing, but I didn't start doing it really professionally in jazz until after the pandemic, really. So it's only been a couple years now, and it still feels like something of a hoax, but I've been enjoying it. So thank you for indulging me in that. And it's fun because I did a record called Voices, which I happen to have some copies of with my big band, because over the years I really enjoyed working with vocalists and with my 17-piece big band. And over the years, a lot of these vocalists asked me to write arrangements for them. Some of them asked me to write and produce their albums. And I decided, I want to do a record with some vocalists, but there are so many vocalists in New York City that I work with that are incredible. And I decided to feature many of them on that album. So it wasn't just one singer, wasn't just 2 or 3, but I actually rounded up 11 different vocalists to sing on the record. And it's called Voices. But there was one vocalist that didn't make the cut, and that was me. So I didn't put myself on that album, but I did put that track, the one you just heard, This Can't Be Love, on my most recent big band album called A Decade, and that was one of the singles, This Can't Be Love. Yeah. But I want to do, thank you. I want to do another one from the Voices album. That was a lot of fun. It's a tune that's beautiful ballad typically, and I wanted to give it a little bit more of an up-tempo samba feel to it. So this is one that we recorded on the Voices album entitled What a Difference a Day Made, and the difference is you. You guys are hip, you get it. And yeah, we're gonna let this rhythm section get it going here. Let's do it. Real big at the top. Big arms. 1, 2, 1, 2. What a difference a day made. 24 little hours around the sun and the flowers, where there used to be rain. My yesterdays were blue, dear. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights were through, dear, since you said you were mine. What a difference a day made. There's a rainbow before me. The skies above, they can't be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find romances on your menu. What a difference a day made, and the difference is you. difference day made. 24 little hours. Brought the sun, brought the flowers. Where there used to be rain. My yesterdays were blue, dear. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights were blue, dear. Since you said you were mine, what a difference a day made. There's a rainbow before me. The skies above, they can be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find romances on your menu. Oh, what a difference a day made, and the difference is you. So yeah, check out the Voices record. It's got all sorts of different vocalists on it. It's all people I've been working with for a long time. But I do want to take a moment and talk about these wonderful musicians. I know you've heard about some of their accolades, but just one more time for this band. I mean, Hyuna Park and I, we met in Basel, Switzerland, as a matter of fact. How many years ago was that? 2013 or 14 maybe? 15? Maybe. We've been playing together for 10 years now, maybe? Something like that. Yeah. No! But we've been playing together, and I just remember I was playing with a big band over there in Basel with Luis Bonilla, the great trombone player, and he was leading a European big band. And Hyuna came and featured with the band one night, and I was just like mind blown. And she said she lives in New York City. And I said, we have to play when we get back. So one more time for Hyuna Park, please. All the way from Korea, of course, and all the way from Jersey City. That's right. Liani and I think I got your information from Kevin, who recommended that we play together. I said to Kevin, I want a swinging bass player that can just hold it down and swing like nobody's business. And he said, you should check out Liani Mateo. And he said, we have to play with her. She's incredible. And it couldn't be farther from the truth. This is one of my favorite bass players right here, Liani Mateo. And last and certainly not least, Kevin and I have been playing together also for probably over a decade now. I think we started playing in 2013 or 14, something like that. We've played all the way around the world in different countries with a swing band. And we played together for years on tour with another band, and I always thought, gosh, one day I'm going to start my own band. And there's no one else that I would rather have on the drums than Kevin Congleton. So this is a dynamite rhythm section. Actually, we went into the studio recently, and what was that, last week or 2 weeks ago? They don't remember because in one day, in one studio session, which was 6 hours, we actually recorded 22 songs. Yeah, exactly. I think you need a hand massage after that. Everybody needs to work it out. But it's true. I came in, we've been playing a lot of shows together, so we were able to just run through the arrangements. But usually, I would say a typical day like that, 6 hours, maybe you could get like 6 songs. Most bands would be able to get like 6. But we got 22, and most of them are one take. We just said, we played it, and everyone said, yeah, it's not going to get any better than that, right? So, so how better for this incredible rhythm section here? Be on the lookout. That record will probably come out, I'm hoping, in the next winter and the next spring. So look out for that. It's this rhythm section right here. But we're going to do another one that I recorded on a decade, and it's one that I really, really love. One of my favorite jazz standards that I also gave a little bit of a different feel, a straight 8th groove to it. And how many of you know this tune, Skylark? Yeah, you like that one? Well, so here's my arrangement of it. I was actually inspired. I find inspiration for arrangements in so many different places. Like I could be just listening to something on the radio and just say, oh wow, like I should do a jazz arrangement of that song, but in a different feel. And for this song, I was trying to think like, what kind of groove do I want to give this song? And actually, of all places, Nora Jones's "Don't Know Why" came on. Do you guys know that song? Na, 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 I call the sun. You're gonna play it a little bit? Yeah, that's the piano part. And I heard that, and I said, what if we did that, but with a modern jazz feel, and put Skylark on it? So that's here where we're gonna do my arrangement of Skylark by Hoagie Carmichael, and lyrics by Johnny Mercer. Here comes. One, two, three, four. nice Nora Jones? Did you hear it? A little bit in there. Just a little bit of that kind of that groove and feel. I was thinking that would be a nice one for that one. So that was Skylark, which is another one that I liked to sing. What beautiful lyrics. You guys all know the lyrics to that tune? It's amazing, some of the best. And we recorded that on the last Big Band album, and I usually play it on flugelhorn, but I also love to sing it. So I was torn, should I put a vocal version or a flugelhorn version on the album? So I actually made a secret bonus track on the album singing. So actually, if you get a copy of A Decade, you'll hear both versions on there. It made it on, so you can vote which one you like better. This next one we're going to do is also from the record A Decade. And A Decade is about a decade living and surviving the dream, as I like to say, in New York City. From Los Angeles, I moved to Philadelphia for college, as you heard earlier, at Temple University. But then I spent 10 years in New York, and it feels like surviving in New York sometimes. But one of the tunes I did write was about my time in Philadelphia studying. And unfortunately, when I was a senior there, I had a tragic accident. I was coming home one night with a friend, and just walking on the street randomly, and a guy came up, and he actually punched us both in the face. And my friend was a tuba player, and he got knocked in the jaw. And me as a trumpet player, I got knocked in the chops. So it was a traumatic experience indeed. I remember I called Terrell Stafford right away, and I sent him a screenshot of my face, which was completely bloody and huge lips. You can imagine how the sight. And he said, yeah, I mean, this is serious. And I actually had to take a year off of playing the trumpet, which was tragic, but it actually really inspired me in some ways. And I look back at it as a positive experience, because it really showed me that I can't do anything else besides music. I think a lot of people were really tried by that in the pandemic. Like, do I want to be a musician? The whole world is closed down. Maybe I'll go to computer sciences or something. But I had already gone through that, because for a year I couldn't play music, and so I developed my skills as an arranger and as a composer. So I look back and think, that was actually a good thing that I couldn't play trumpet, because I found that I still can do music with writing. So this is my tune about that whole experience, original composition, simply entitled South Philly. It's real big at the top. Real big. I'll bring it down. 1, 2, a small group. That was fun. We always do it as a big band arrangement. That was a fun, do it as a small group. But how about for Kevin Conwitz on those drums? Yeah. I think we're going to slow things down a little bit and feature Leon and Mateo on the bass on this next one. What do you think? This is one of my favorite tunes by the great saxophonist, composer, arranger, and trumpeter. Who could that be? Well, that's a good trivia. You win a CD. Who am I talking about? Who am I talking about? A great arranger, saxophone player, and he played the trumpet. Who can I be talking about? Anybody? Benny Carter is correct. You're gonna get a copy of A Decade. Round of applause for it. That's great. Benny Carter. The first teacher I had was the great Ira Napis, who played trombone with Benny Carter, and so he always told me amazing stories about what an incredible person and musician he was. He told me that they were once playing at a huge festival, and they had a vocalist there, Ella Fitzgerald, that was playing, and she came up and called a tune that Benny didn't know. He didn't know it. And by the end of the chorus, he played the most beautiful solo, and it was not an easy tune. He said he'll never forget that Benny Carter had the biggest ears in jazz. He figured out the tune and then immediately just improvised over it. So this one is Benny Carter's great composition, When Lights Are Low.
Just bass and vocals at A. 1, 2, 3.
Sweet music, soft and mellow, soothing and slow, the strings of Liani's bass when lights are low. Gee, we're so close together, I love you so. Oh, I think about the weather when lights are low. Two hearts revealing the music has charms. Life's so appealing with inspiration in your arms. Our lips meet and soft and tender. Love's all aglow. Why shouldn't we surrender when those lights are low? Let's bring it down low for Liani. Sweet music, soft and mellow, soothing and slow. The strings of a mellow cello when those lights are low. G, we're so close, take a let I love you so. Why shouldn't we think about the weather when those lights are low? Two hearts revealing the music hath charms, life so appealing with inspiration in your arms. Our lips are meeting soft and tender, love's all aglow. Oh, why shouldn't we surrender when those lights are low? Oh, when those lights are low. Oh, when those lights are low. One, two, three. Well, day by day, I'm falling more in love with you. And day by day, I want you to know there isn't any end to my devotion. Well, babe's deeper there by far than any ocean. 'Cause I find that day by day, you're making all my dreams come true. And come what may, I want you to know I'm yours alone, and I'm in love to stay. As we go through the years, go day by day by day by day by day by day by day, I'm falling more in love with you. And day by day, I want you to know there isn't any end to my devotion. It's deeper, deeper than any ocean. Day by day, I'm making all your dreams come true. And come what may, I want you to know I'm yours alone, and I'm in love to stay. As we go through the years, go day by day. play, I want you to know I'm yours alone, and I'm in love to stay as we go through the years, go day by day, by week, by month, by year, by a decade. Hey, you should buy a decade on your way out. Day by day, oh, we go through the years. We go through the years. We go through the years, go day by day, by day, by day, by day, by day, by day. We go through the years, darling. We go through the years, oh, we go through the years, go day by day. Shameless plug, good song. All right, well, I think we have time for just one more, but we want to welcome up, how about it for the fabulous band before us, Alex, and Sam.
Yeah.
Sounds like a law firm, doesn't it? Alex, and Sam. We're going to invite these guys up to play with us for this last tune, but while they're getting set up and ready to join us, just want to say a quick thank you to all of you that came out. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out here, joining us. Of course, I want to thank Sydney Halpin, thank you so much. I want to thank Sandy Josephine, thank you for all your love and support. I want to thank everyone here at the Madison Community Arts. I want to thank Carolyn and Andre helping out on sound and lights. Yes, yes. Once more for this incredible band. Kiona Park on the keys. Leon and Mateo on the bass. Kevin Congleton on the drums. All right, we're going to welcome up the Alexes. We're going to do a nice swinging number, leave you on a swinging positive note. This one comes from Johnny Hodges, of course, the great sax player, lead alto player for the Duke Ellington Orchestra. And this is one that we recently recorded with the band, and it's one of my favorites because Duke was not on the album. He didn't make the record date, so they simply titled this one, Duke's in Bed. I hope you enjoy Duke's in Bed. Thank you all so much. 1, 2, F minor. you all so much. Give it up for Alex and Alex joining us on that. I wish I sounded like that when I was your age, truly. I wish I sounded as good as you when I was your age. So this is it, the future of jazz.
Yes, thank you very much. And to the Jonokuchi Quartet. And thank you so much for following in the footsteps of the greats to bring the youngins up with the less youngins. And so thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick close out here today. I just want to thank my fellow board members, if you'll raise your hands. Thank you very much. These events take a village, and there's the village right there. So thank you. Thank you, as always, for your generosity of spirit as well as finance. You are a goddess in the business. Yes, you are. Don't shake your head now. I'd like to thank Vanessa Gannett, our videographer. Vanessa is leaving us, and I'm heartbroken. She's off to college in August. Marist, right? Off to Marist College. We're so proud of her. She's been so amazing and getting our things, working with our other person online to get all of our stuff posted. And just to tell you what kind of a gal she is, she came in today, she goes, oh, I have a replacement for myself for the fall. Bravo, young lady. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, you know, it's a life lesson, so dear, thank you very much and for all of your help, because I am technologically challenged, and she has never missed a beat. Caroline and Andre, thank you for everything you do for the Jazz Society. You really work very hard for us, and we are so grateful. I want to say Godspeed to Mitchell, for those of you that knew Mitchell, and for the rest of us. I'm sure he is up there taking photos of the big band in the sky and standing in front of somebody who can't see around him. So Mitchell, Godspeed. Danny has merchandise for sale. If anyone's interested, he'll be in the back.
Got vinyl.
He's got vinyl. Woo! And if you are interested and aren't on our e-blast list, I don't sell it, we don't share it, we don't do anything. If you're interested and you're not on it, sign up back there. Lastly, take this to remind yourself to be back here on October 5th when we have the Anais duo. She'll be a singer and a pianist. She's such a lovely young lady. You'll love her. And then lastly, we hope to see you at some of the Jazz on the Back Deck shows this summer. They have a wonderful series. Don't forget to take your flyer. So, lastly, thank you to all of you for sharing your afternoon with us, and have a great week. Thank you so much.